Hi everyone, Chris Anderson, Mount Comfort RV. Well, we're going to show you another 2022 Newmar. This one is a Bay Star that just came in, and we're going to save maybe the best part of this coach for a little later, because I will tell you that this is one of my all-time favorite paint jobs on the outside, and I didn't think I'd like it on paper. On paper I was like, I don't know, but when it got here, wow, does it look wonderful. So for those of you keeping score at home, this is a 2022 Bay Star, and this is the 3626 floor plan. Now this floor plan came out 3 or 4 years ago, and I loved it. In fact, that year at the dealer show, it was my favorite floor plan out there. And you know, I like all the big diesels and all that stuff. So for me to say a gas coach was my favorite floor plan out there, I think that's kind of saying something. But it's a very diesel feeling floor plan when you walk in. It's big. It has a lot of the amenities that a diesel coach has. And as you walk through here, with the door being up front, it kind of has that diesel feel for sure as you go through. So without further ado, let's start. Let's do something different. I'm going to have Troy just kind of take the camera and do a full 360 here, so you kind of get a feel of what this looks like walking around. This is a 4-slide motorhome, so that gives you a lot of space, 36 feet and change. So a big bus, but not a huge bus. For somebody that doesn't want to drive a 40-footer or something like that, this might be perfect for you. All right, we'll start going through some of the stuff. Let's start up front here. This cabinet here would definitely be used for like audio-video equipment. And that's why it's vented in the back. That's why there's a clear glass on the front of it, so that your remote control will work through there. Up top we see our Wi-Fi router and everything that is in there, and then there's room down here for a satellite receiver, or if you wanted to put a Blu-ray player in, something along those lines. That's what this cabinet is dedicated for. Front TV, and then over here we have some storage. Now your shades that you see here, your front shade is power, and that's very important. I overall prefer manual shades to power ones. Power ones are neat because, you know, there's a nice ooh and ah factor there of pressing a button and watching it go down, or especially on the big high-end diesels where you press it and the whole room gets dark all at once. But that's also that many more things to go wrong, and the practical side of me that is an RVer says, yeah, I kind of like the reliability of the manual shades. But on the front one, you got to have a power shade up there, because you can't reach there when you're driving. And if you're driving and you need to bring it down because you're headed into the sun, you need to bring it down a little bit. This will come partially down going down the road, and you can do that just with this button on the dash here. This does have the navigation built in. It's the Nav and Go stereo, along with the, and by the way, that's lifetime maps, and it automatically updates to the cellular network, so you don't have to download cards or anything like that to update it. And then above that, you do have your camera system. This does have backup and side cameras on the coach. I would be remiss if I didn't demonstrate the table. So if we pull this straight out like this, the table stands up this way. Pull it back towards you. Check that out. So this is a nice little separate dinette, game table, whatever you want to call it. Both of the driver passenger seats do rotate around, so it makes this very useful space when you've got it set up in RVing mode. And when it's time to be going down the road mode, you fold it back like this. And it's nice setup for cup holders, and it's still pretty easy to walk around. One of the things you have here is an extra little table for the passenger. So if the passenger likes to do crossword puzzles or put a laptop computer up there or whatever they like, it's good. Got a map light above their head. And then you do have both USB and 120 volt receptacle down here. That may be tough to get in the shot, but you can take my word for some things. So cup holder for both driver and passenger on either side, and then you have the 2 center ones as well. So nice setup there. As I mentioned, it is a front entry. Right behind the passenger seat here is where we come into the coach, and right above that you're going to find most of your coach controls. I'll go through these briefly so we don't make it a 3-hour video. This is going to tell us what's in our holding tanks and our battery voltage as we go through there. The Truma AquaGo system, that's hot water on demand. That's a nice setup. So if you want to take an excessively long shower, as long as you're hooked up to fresh water and you can get rid of your gray water, you certainly can do that. This button down here shuts the coach off for putting it in storage mode. That kills everything that's attached to the house batteries. We did equip this coach with an automatic in-motion satellite dish. You can subscribe to either Dish Network or DirecTV and get television. And if you're on Dish Network, you'll even get high-definition television. So that's great. This switch turns the step off and on to determine whether it opens and closes every time you go in and out the door. But regardless of the position of this switch, if you shut the door and turn the key on, the step automatically comes in. Awning lights and awning extend and retract are here. This coach does have a heated, or not a heated holding tank, it has 3 heated holding tanks. And then we come over here and we have our power control system. That is going to keep us under a certain amperage. So if you're plugged into a 30 amp service, even though this coach is a 2 air conditioner coach, this will shed off different systems in order to keep you under that 30 amps so you don't pop the circuit breaker at the post. The nice part is this thing detects everything on its own, and you really probably don't even know this thing's working most of the time when it's working, which is wonderful. And then lastly, we have our Xantrax inverter here, and that is a 2,000 watt inverter that does the entire coach. So basically you can run about anything off of inverter except for your air conditioners. All right, if you don't know exactly what an inverter does, you want more details on that, don't hesitate to reach out. So we equipped this as a sofa setup. So we have 2 different sofas. All right, so this one, okay, so this is going to be a high to bed, or what they call a tri-fold sofa. Let's show you how this one works. Peel off the Velcro, set these aside. And then this lifts up and out. The legs fold down. And just like that, we have a great sleeping spot for 2 more people. The booth also makes into a bed. Also, on this particular one, the love seat, or the smaller sofa, whichever you prefer calling it, will also make into a bed for smaller people. You're not going to sleep adults on here, I don't think, unless you have little friends. But, take this, folds down like this, goes right back in there, and you have a bed. Now, you might say, boy, that looks a little lumpy. I agree with you. But I was the last of 5 kids, and on our motorhome, I slept on the dashboard. So there was a big flat dashboard, so it wasn't too bad, but give me a sleeping bag and a pillow. That was my spot, and I loved it. So kids will sleep anywhere, and that's a great spot for them. All right, let's put that away real quick. Some good Velcro, that's Amish Velcro. It works harder than domestic Velcro. All right, moving on. Now, we do have one of the things it's big on Chris's list is viewing angles for television. Some people, television doesn't mean a thing to them. For me, hey, even when I'm out RVing, I like to have good viewing angles. When I sit down at night, maybe get a rainy day, want to watch a movie with the kids, maybe I just want to catch the news before I go to bed. So front TV, that's great to have, but ultimately I like something with a little better angle to it. There we go. So we're going to have our Samsung television here with the Bose sound system. Oops, we're collecting the blind there. There we go. Straight across from the main seating area. So these 3 seats here have awesome viewing. This seat, as I mentioned, spins. That would give you awesome viewing. This would not be ideal for this TV, but you can probably watch that one. Same way with the dinette. You would have viewing of, for the front 2 seats there, front-facing 2 seats, you would definitely have good viewing of one of the 2 TVs, maybe both. So lots of people can be in here, probably more than I want in my coach, watching TV and having a good time. All right, let's move into the kitchen. Up above, big storage. Okay. A person could even put some stackable shelving in here and split that in half and kind of double your storage there, which I think I probably would on that. Beautiful Corian throughout, like you would expect. Okay, double bowl undermount stainless sink with a pull-out sink sprayer. All right, Corian here on an undermount 3-burner stove. And then we have a 30-inch convection Whirlpool microwave up above, so it'll cook like an oven or cook like a microwave, your call. Down below, we have a spot for a trash can and shelves here. And then 4 drawers. That one's a little oddly shaped because of the sink. The others you get the full width on, and these are all soft close. If you get them close, they pull themselves in. And then 3 big drawers here, including the one at the bottom is very large for like pots and pans and such. All right, storage up here. Be a good place for cookie sheets, spices. Same thing here. This is all one compartment. I didn't know that. It's actually all one compartment, so that's very nice. So we open this up, it kind of has a double pantry here. You have this half, which has the 6 pull-out shelves, 5 pull-out shelves. Counting never was my strong suit. And then adjustable shelves over here for taller items. All right. Come back a little further. Well, we didn't even show the refrigerator. Might as well. Whirlpool, this is a residential fridge, 10 cubic foot with ice maker. All right, and then one of the things that kind of reminded me of, again, kind of a diesel floor plan, this actually has the hookups for a stackable washer dryer. Now, we did not equip that. Why didn't we equip it with a washer dryer? Well, I can add them for about the same price here at the dealership, as long as it's prepped for them, and this is. But not everybody wants a stackable washer dryer. Some people want to save a little bit of money and don't want to spend $300,000 on a coach. So if we put every single option available out there, the price just keeps going up and up. So on something that we can add quickly and easily, and we stock washers and dryers, we really don't worry about it. It also gives you versatility. Right now, this has a hanging rod above and a hanging rod below. Let's see if I can get, there we go, that's a better shot. And you can leave it, so it's great extra wardrobe storage. You could also split the difference. Now, they make an all-in-one washer dryer. It's not as popular as the stackable washer and dryer, but some people do like it. So you could put the all-in-one washer dryer on the bottom and still retain your top hanging rod. So you kind of have a few different ways you could go here, depending on what your preferences are. If you like this motor home, call me, tell me how you want it, and I'll handle the rest. All right, we open this door. This is going to be to our bathroom. Great size shower in here. I mean, you never have very rarely in motorhomes do you have what you would call a huge bathroom. This is a good sized bathroom and a really good sized shower. I'll step in there in a minute and demonstrate. Here we go. Yeah, full extension on elbows. That's rare. I wouldn't be hitting any side here. So good. Even tall people, I'm about 5'9", 5'10". Taller people, your head might be in the skylight, but that's why this is not attached to the wall. You can get up there, get the job done. You also have beautiful Corian in here. I like having space next to the sink because I don't know about you guys, but my wife has 1,000 little potions and lotions and stuff like that going around, so it gives room for her to expand. Up top here, we're going to have our circuit breakers and 12-volt fuses. Okay. Oh, one of them's off. There we go. And then we have storage here and in the medicine cabinet. Of course, there's a large fan above my head, a max air vent, that will get all the steam out so you don't steam up the whole coach when you're taking a shower. Storage there. Drawer here. Storage. And more storage. So for a relatively small space overall, there's a lot here in this bathroom. All right, come on back. There's more. One of the big things, another hot button list for me, is a king bed. Now, even though my RV has a queen bed in it, I know more and more customers are preferring a king bed. So when we're ordering pieces in, if I can get it with a king, we're going to bring a king bed in. That's the case here. So we're covered on that. There is storage underneath it. As we lift here, we're going to see the storage underneath. Now that cushion, you can store it elsewhere if you want. That is the spare cushion for when you make the booth into a bed. That cushion is needed. But I didn't want it just laying around in here, so we tucked it away. You do have a wardrobe here in the bedroom. Even if you put in the full stackable washer dryer, you still get this wardrobe. And then 5 drawers like this. I'll open one. The other 5 look just like that. Another cabinet for audio video equipment for the bedroom AV. So you can put your satellite receiver, Blu-ray player, or anything else you want in there. Samsung television in the bedroom. And then above the bed, okay, let me crawl up here and get this open. You've got a big storage spot that's all one space here. And you may have seen me talk about this on other coaches, but that's a CPAP station. There's a 120 volt outlet up there. And then there's little spots here where you could run little hoses down through and have a CPAP, or technically, you can have his or her CPAPs if you want to. So you have all the equipment there to do that. If you don't have a CPAP, you might in the future, who knows? we're all staring at that someday or another probably, so it's all ready for you. All right, let's close up the slides on this coach and take a look at what you have going down the road. All right, so we have it all closed up for you. Let's see what kind of space we have left. Well, the bedroom, I could lay down on the bed, I could even sit on the bed and get into that wardrobe closet. It wouldn't be ideal, but I'm still nimble enough to do that. Certainly, bathroom's easy. You can walk in there, piece of cake, refrigerator. We'll get right back out here. So refrigerator, get into any of the kitchen drawers. Kitchen's fully usable, fully accessible, even with the slides in. There's one point that's a little snug, okay? And that's right here, between the two sofas. Everything's pushed back as far as it can be pushed back. Now we could option this sofa differently, but I don't think I'd make the trade-off. If we wanted to order this without the Televator and just live with the front television, this love seat would sit back further and it would eliminate this choke point. But like a lot of things in RVing, you're compromising. You know, it's a house that goes down the road. There's going to be compromises. To me, this is a very acceptable one because it's not that bad. Now, I would have trouble passing another person right there, and that's just kind of RV life. I mean, if you're in a motorhome going down the road and you got two people crossing one another, well, one of you just takes a seat, lets them go, and then you go on about your life. So that's just kind of life in the RV. So wanted to show it with the slides in. Now I want to show you that awesome paint job. Okay, that is an outstanding paint job in my opinion. Like I said, on paper, that little orange, that burnt orangey color, I wasn't sure, I'm not gonna lie. It got here and I was like, man, against that cream, it just really, really works. So, I'm gonna apologize, we are out next to the interstate. It was just the sunniest spot I could find on our lot, so if I'm squinting a little or you hear a car go by, I apologize. But you know, we're trying to make the best quality video we can, and this was the spot. So I'll start, we're gonna go the opposite way around. I'm not sure I can go counterclockwise. I always go clockwise, but we'll make the best of it. So we do have the 3M, or the Diamond Shield front mask up here. And it's hard to see that, but you'll, again, take my word for it. They put the logo on there for a reason, but there's a clear film to protect the front against little rock chips and stuff like that. This does have the side cameras, as I mentioned. Those are turn signal activated when you're ready to change lanes. And then this also is built on the newer chassis, the 7.3 liter V8 chassis, as opposed to the V10 chassis. This is more horsepower, more torque, and a lot quieter engine. It's also a lot more stable front end. They put some extra anti-roll in here. It's a very nice driving coach. Another thing that they did on here that makes life a lot better is the difference between the Bay Star Sport and the Bay Stars. When you step up to the Bay Star, you actually have the 22.5-inch tires. Same size wheel and tire that you would see on a high-end diesel coach. That's what you're getting here. So that, you know, a little more rubber on the ground, a little more air in that tire. That's a little more between you and the road. That's just going to improve the ride that much more. People love it when they make that upgrade. So we have our large propane bottle here. Now, if you're not an RVer already, this might be news to you, but for those of you that are, you'll agree with me. In most cases, you don't use much propane. Your stove doesn't use hardly any. This refrigerator doesn't use any. The water heater does use some, but not a lot. Now, if you spend a lot of time in cold weather, that's the one appliance that will drink some propane. But most RVers don't spend that much time in cold weather, therefore they don't use much propane. Once or twice a year is usually all people have to refill the propane. So filling up your fuel tank, that's a cost you have to figure into the grand theme of things. But honestly, filling up your propane tank is not going to change your life. We do have out here, this is a pull-out battery tray with 1, 2, 3, 4 deep cycle batteries on it. Those are part of your house battery setup. We have storage in the next two compartments, and that's all fully lined. Fully lined just keeps stuff from making that much noise and sliding around, which is important. This next compartment, this is where our fresh water tank is. That's what you see here, and the drain for it. I love the drain valve being so easy to get to there. That's a nice little plus. We move back one more compartment. Again, we have storage, but we also have this funny little clear hose. That's your winterization hose. When you're ready to winterize this coach, you turn that valve, you turn that valve, shove that hose down in a bottle of RV antifreeze, and instead of trying to draw water from your fresh water tank, your coach will then suck it right out of the jug, and that's a beautiful thing. I mentioned the Truma AquaGo on the inside, your on-demand water heater. That's it. As we come back here, we see a whole house water filtration system built into the coach here. We have an outside shower with hot and cold water. We even have a black tank flush in case things start to get a little stinky. You can rinse out your black tank while you're dumping it. And then over here, this is hard to see, but on the side of these tank, these wires, that's where they're going. Those are tank monitors that are on the outside of the tank instead of the cheap way of doing it, which are probes that penetrate the tank. Well, probes eventually get gunk on them, and every hole you poke in that tank to put a probe in it is one more opportunity for a leak. the kind of leak you don't want to deal with. I love these. They stick onto the outside of the tank. They're more accurate. They're just a better setup. There is light in here, although you're not going to be able to get a good shot of that, but there's a light right here. My hand is on it. So if you do go to do anything at night, you can light this coach up. And then your sewer dump for your black and gray water is right here in an enclosed area, not hanging down below the coach exposed. We fill our fuel tank right here. And then down below that, that's our storage spot for a sewer hose. You want your sewer hose to have its own dedicated spot. You don't want it to be carpeted. You don't want it to be mingling with anything else. There are sometimes some drips that come out of that. Much better to have its own spot. We have 2 more storage compartments back here. This one that's furthest back actually has our 50 amp shore power cord in it. And this coach does have a built-in surge protector in it also. Let's walk around the back of the coach. It's not going to be quite as sunny back here, but honestly that's kind of a relief right now. This is as loud as the generator will ever be. Both air conditioners are running, so that generator's working right now, and the exhaust for it is right there. So it's still not loud. It's still a very quiet generator. This is a one-piece molded cap. It's also full body paint through every inch of it, just like the rest of the coach. Your camera is not some bolt-on item that looks like somebody added it. It's molded into the cap there. We can tow 5,000 pounds behind this coach. We have a ladder for getting on our roof to do any roof maintenance. As we come around, this is a good spot to talk about Newmar's slide system, where they recess back into the wall as opposed to just pressing up against the wall. These seal better, these make less wind noise. Come drive it and see how quiet it is. We've got a nice pass-through storage spot there. Coming forward, we've got another little storage cubby. Some of these don't seem huge, but every little spot you'll use as an RVer. Now when we come forward here, we see our own end generator. We're standing right next to it. Again, still not loud. More storage over here. On the next 3 or 4 compartments up, it's just all exterior storage. This coach does a very nice job with outside storage. Now, right here in this compartment, what we see, that's actually that inverter I mentioned earlier. That's what will give you 120 volt power off of your batteries when you're not running your generator. Now, there's actually a couple of ways 3 different ways you could do this coach as far as inverters go. You can order in an inverter that just does the refrigerator, and that's a smaller inverter. Or you can order one in that just does the bedroom. So back in the TV, your CPAP machine and your rear TV will work off of the inverter, okay? Or if you order both of them, Newmar scratches them both off, says to heck with it. We're putting one in, a big one in, a 2,000 watt inverter that covers the whole coach. So that's what's happened here. We actually optioned both inverters in. They give you the big one when you do that. All right. Up top, you'll see this is, of course, a power awning. There are slide toppers on this coach. This does have dual pane frameless windows, things that you would expect on a coach of this ilk. And then you also have, that is a power awning. So not only is it metal wrap, but it's also a power awning. Okay, come around to the front. Let's get a good shot of that. One of the things you'll see here is if you look closely through this grill, you're going to see 2 more batteries. Well, all 6 wouldn't fit on that tray, so they put 2 up front, 4 on the tray, and then kind of behind this right front headlight is the engine battery. You can't see it, but take my word for it. So there's actually a total of 7 batteries on this coach. The more and more things we do with inverters and electric, the more batteries we end up with. So that's kind of to be expected. So that's a quick walk around on our 3626 Newmar Bay Star. We hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope you'll call me and want to talk more about this. Again, my name is Chris Anderson. I'm one of the motorhome specialists here at Mount Comfort RV, and I hope to be talking to you soon. Thanks for watching.